Hey, how's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another video of Income Views. On this podcast episode, we're going to be taking a look and really analyzing SCHD and really getting into, the numbers, really into the math of whether or not you should keep SCHD in your portfolio or just kind of dump it. I mean, it really just depends on what kind of investor you potentially are. Now, of course, if you are new to this ETF, then you would know that it's a really interesting ETF that has a nice dividend there. And I will also take a look too and see if it might be time to dump it. Now, here we go. SCHD. Now, of course, 229.68% all time here. That's what we're taking a look at, of course. And that's kind of, when this fund started. And it kind of really increased over time. And just in the past year, it has 9.17% gains. And that's just in terms of growth itself. Okay, obviously, it did lose a bit of momentum starting around November 27th, around that kind of time there, that time frame. And, if you obviously need to keep in mind that the ETF, it'll grow over time. At least that's what it has done in the past for the max since 2011. And if you take a look at their dividend here, again, the dividend yield is 3.78%, and that's an annual dividend of $1.05 around there. And so, the dividend is a really interesting thing to take a look at when you're trying to invest in a company like SCHD. And you can also compare that to JEPQ as well as VGT or VTG. VOO and others, and yes, VGT. For some reason I get the G and the T confused sometimes when I talk about VGT. But SCHD, it's really an interesting company. And again, or I should say an ETF, and again, when you're looking at potential ETFs to invest in, like potential like a VOO, then you really need to take a look at all the companies that it has in its holdings, and you'll see that whatever is a potential investment for you, whether it's VOO or SCHD, and you can really kind of compare them and see what is the best move going forward for you. And also VGT is a really interesting stock as well to kind of pair SCHD to potentially, and and also like looking at other ETFs on the market. I mean, like SPY and others, and you can also kind of look at like potentially like options and other things like that, or you can look into long-term holds for SCHD, which that's one thing I've taken a look at myself. And I've really seen that, SCHD really has that nice growth there, as well as the dividends, because you have to take a look at kind of both and kind of judge for yourself which one is kind of the best move, going forward for you. And it really just depends on what kind of investor you are, at this very moment in time. I mean, do you like the dividends? Do you like the long-term growth? Do you like both? I mean, what exactly do you like? What do you want to do with your money? I mean, that's kind of what you should take a look at when you're taking a look at SCHD. When you're trying to take a look at JEPQ and others, I mean, there was a bit of a downturn, but I think that SCHD could really, turn around, which, as it has done, actually. I actually predicted this a little while back, and right now the stock is at like $27.99. It was at 28 before, and yeah, so Yeah. And by the way, 2022 was actually a great year for SCHD as well, where, you kind of, if you would have put your money potentially into SCHD in 2022, you know, um, instead of, obviously, I believe that like Meta was doing pretty poorly in that time. And again, but obviously hindsight is kind of 2020. So, all right. Thanks for watching, everybody.